Okay, 7 o'clock, everybody. We got a big crowd here on Facebook and on YouTube, and we are looking forward to talking about this winter storm, the nor'easter. We are in the thick of it now. Let me know how it's going by you, what you're seeing, what you're getting, and what's going to be an impactful next 10 hours or so. The next 10 hours is the most impactful part of this winter storm because of the snow, because of the wind, and because of the tidal flooding, which is looking more significant than I thought it was this morning. I still don't think this is historic flooding, but it's going to be more impactful to you. So let's start off here with a look at our snowfall reports. You see them here. We are talking about snowfall totals of 3 inches in Buena Vista, 3 inches in Ocean View and Cape May County. So we are looking at, what is a good event right now in terms of the snow. It's going as anticipated. I can't say anything that's happening is not what I thought would happen. This is just all in all looking to be a par for the course here for this system. So let's take a look at our radar over the past hour or so. And like I wrote in the chat here at the bottom, that what we're seeing is something that we haven't seen in a while here in terms of the snow, but we are looking for some of these heavy bands to move through the area. And we already saw our first one doing so. So if I can draw this for you right now, let's see if I can do so. I think I can give you a little bit of an idea of what I'm talking about. Let's look at this band right here. Pretty much from Sandy Hook over to Roosevelt, and then over to Trenton and Southwest. That's our first heavy band right there. And we're going to see more of this. Here's another one. That's going to be moving north. And we'll keep seeing this and seeing this and seeing this again over, again, the next 10 hours or so. Let's give a shout out to Broadley's. Broadley's makes this possible. Broadley's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning in Memora, New Jersey. When severe weather hits, trust Broadley's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning for emergency service, keeping your home safe and comfortable before and after the storm. Broadley's, the name you know, the service you trust. Call 609-525-4080. That's 609-525-4080. They will be handling emergency calls if you need it. All right, looks like we got a good amount. Wow, we got over 100 people in the chat right now. Let's keep it going. All right, what do we got here? Let's see. Let's take a couple of questions. Patrick says, this storm over yet? Not really. We're in the first quarter of this storm. Sorry, Patrick. Let's take a look at our current conditions. We're going to say a couple of hellos. Hey, Joe from AC. Hey, Michelle. How's it going? Thanks for hopping on the live here today. Let's see what other comments we have. We have Anita in Sea Isle City, down in the capital, Cape May County, as they like to call it. Barely 2 inches in Sea Isle. Yep, and you've been mixing with sleet and rain in coastal Cape, and that's why your totals are less, 7 to 12 inches for their total. Andrew Adams, how bad will erosion be at the shore? To be determined. Definitely, I would say a moderate impact. It's not a long-lasting system, so we're not expecting major issues. Michelle Salmon says 10 hours more. Who knows? LOL. Yeah, we still got some time to go on this. You can put your comments here in the chat, and we'd be happy to answer them. But look at our temps. We're still around 32. Again, this was all as expected. And like I was saying here, this storm needs to generate its own cold air, and it does so by heavy precipitation. And we're seeing that now. But where it's 33 degrees, Long Branch, Seaside, LBI, pretty much the whole coast, when the precipitation's light, it probably flips to rain, and then when it's heavy, it goes to snow. This is something like we see in March or November. Not so much in February, but it's just the way it is. And here's the gusts. Gusts have been kicking up, generally out of the Northeast, but we have seen gusts in the 30s and even around 40 miles an hour at the coast. It's going to get stronger. I can't stress this enough. What we saw during the daytime hours today was just the first quarter. We are now in the second quarter of this, and this quarter and the third quarter are going to be the most impactful, and that happens overnight. All right, let's take a look at our weather alerts. I'll answer another question or two here. It is not often that you have blizzard warnings from the coast of Maine through Boston into all of 3 states, actually 4 states. So we have a blizzard warning in 4 states: Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, and Delaware. All of them in a blizzard warning. What does a blizzard warning mean? You have to have 3 hours of 35 mile an hour or greater winds with visibility under a quarter of a mile. It could be from blowing snow. It could be from actual snow, but it doesn't actually have to snow for a blizzard. So that's the definition there. Let's take a couple of questions here, or a couple of comments. Lisa in Brigantine, heavy and wet snow. Yep, and that's going to be the case for a lot of places here. Tara, that's my cousin Tara. Hey, Tara. Cranford School closed for the kiddos. Yeah, I was actually just chatting with a high school and talking about closing school. They're closed it tomorrow. They're probably going to close it Tuesday too. We'll see. Scott Mazzella, author of the second edition of the Historic Storms of the Jersey Shore. He said, I'm not writing another book about storms yet. Look, might have to, Scott, might have to. We'll see what happens over the next 10 hours. If that NAM, that North American model came true from the past, those model runs on Saturday, you definitely would be, because we'd be talking about record snow in New Jersey. The record, by the way, 34 inches in one storm. I don't think we get there. I really don't. If we get to 30, we're lucky, but I think somewhere is going to end up over 2 feet. All right, this is where we're at so far. Let me just show you where we've been. Light rain and snow, we had that. Now we're in this steady snows, heavier at times, and it's very breezy out there. But we are just, again, in the first quarter of the storm. Look what we have left to go. That white line is where we are now. when we do our next live, which is going to be around 10 o'clock, that's when we're getting into the core of the storm. So we're ramping up now. We plateau from about 10 o'clock until about 6 a.m. That's the peak. Then we go to Monday, and it's kind of similar to now with snow falling. It accumulates, although winds stay very strong, and that's a concern for us here. It's not until the afternoon that it tapers down, but it's slow to taper down because still snow showers Monday afternoon. Black ice. We have another round of tidal flooding, and it's very breezy as well. So we got a lot going on here. Got a question from Trent, who says, what about any shot of it being warm enough to keep the totals down in Margate? I have 12 to 18 for Margate. I like that total. There's a shot, sure. I don't, it's not my favorite solution, but yeah, you got a shot. Absolutely. What else? I'll show you. There's our snowfall totals. Just kind of looking at the chat here. We have Fran, who is Fran Felino, I believe. Hi, Joe. When will the heaviest snow accumulate in Cape May? Yeah, that's looking to be pretty much 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. about that time, Fran. And that's true for all the Jersey Shore, to be honest. It's not even just Cape May. I'll do one more comment from Waldo. Pomona, home at ACY Airport. Very windy, heavy snow. Yep, heavy snow. It's going to accumulate quickly. If school has not been canceled for you yet, I'm going to imagine it's going to happen soon. I'm not sure what everybody's not sure what they're waiting for. It's a hard decision, but I'm pretty sure that it's you're not going to have school tomorrow. And government offices will be closed, and we're going to have, offices closed. It's just going to be a whole bunch of things going on here. How about this one from Michael? When will it melt? LOL. I'll show you that in the 7 days. Short answer is next weekend, probably. All right, so here's a look at our snow. 18 to 26, Monmouth and Ocean in southeastern Burlington. I know what some of you are thinking. Joe, I only have 2 inches of snow. How the heck am I going to get to 18 inches of snow? Well, if we snow 1.5 inches an hour for 9 hours, 10 hours, that's 13, 15 inches of snow. Then we accumulate maybe 1/2 inch an hour for another 8 hours after that. So there are 4. That's how you get there. To be fair, I don't think we're getting to 26, at least on a widespread basis. But I do believe a number of those places in red, Monmouth, Inland Ocean, southeastern Burlington, get over 1.5 feet of snow here. We have, speaking of snow, we have a snow report. I think this is from Andrew. Yeah, Andrew, Dell, Virginia, and Toms River, about 4 inches. Yep. And that's because you just got that heavy band to pass through the area. Again, shout out to Broadley's for sponsoring this live stream. Everything we do is ad supported. We try to make it as free for you as possible, and I hope you enjoy that. If you're interested in advertising, shoot me an email. Might not get back to you until Tuesday, but I will. I promise. We will be. These are kind of things we do all year long. We cover the shore like nowhere else, and we're talking about the tidal flooding, and we're talking about the winds because that is important. If you're in Toms River, if you're in Lock Harbor, if you're in Avalon, all those places super important. Okay, I want to try something I couldn't do in the previous 2 streams, but I think I fixed it. I think. Let's try to do this. We are going to try and share the screen, and if it all works out, aha, it does work out. Okay, we are going to look at webcams across the area. I have been meaning to do this the whole time, and I couldn't get it right, and now I think I got it right. So we're going to talk about it. Oh, a little too much. Okay. All right, so we're going to look at some webcams. I'm not sure why my webcam isn't showing up. Maybe that works. Nope. There we go. Okay, that works. Cool. Let's show some webcams here for you, show you what we're seeing across the state, because depending on where you are, it has been different across the state, I'll tell you that. All right, here we go. So we're going to start in Middle Township, Cape May County, Parkway, exit 10. or we're getting onto the on-ramp there. Been there many times. Snow on the on-ramp there. Let's go. Let's try to go all the way down here. Oh, yeah. So this is pretty much right where the parkway ends. Listen, DPWs are it's not that they're not trying, but when you got heavy wet snow and it's coming down hard and it's even sleeting in some parts of, Cape May County, it's just hard to take care of. So that's that. Hey, Dom from Hamburg, Columbus. Hey, we got there. Woodbridge, Lisa in Woodbridge. Awesome. Let me know where you want me to pop a webcam for. I'll show you. Let's, how about we go to, this is Woodbine Road. This is, well, let's see. That's going to be, it's going to be Upper Township. Okay. Yeah, look at the snow there. Webcam shaking. Look at that. Yeah, that's snowing all right over there, and it's accumulating on the road. Most of these places at this point are accumulating on the road. Let's see. Ooh, there we go. All right, let's go a little bit up. Galloway under maintenance. Can't really see much, but maybe you can see a little bit of white there. Interesting. All right, let's take it a little further north. How about getting onto LBI? Nothing there. Cedar Bonnet, nothing there. Marcia Drive, Route 72. This is going from Manahawkin onto LBI. No one out on the road. That's a good thing, but you do see those tire tracks in the snow. Eugene said, hey, you just showed Middle Township where I'm at. Awesome. Yeah, Middle Township, cool. I've been to the high school a few times, gave a couple of talks there. Middle school also, thanks to Bill Hanley, if that's a name you know, Eugene. Jennings Road. All right, this is getting into Beach Haven West. We got a couple of cars there. Roads look slick, though. Really does. How about Seaside? We'll go up the coast. Seaside, you can't really see much. I'm pretty sure you see a good amount of snow there. Can't see nothing on Fisher Boulevard. Again, it's night, so it's hard to see these cams, but I just want to show you guys. Let me know if you want to see any cams around the Jersey Shore or anywhere in the state. We can pull them up for you and show you what's going on. Trying to look for there are some good nighttime cams here. How about Tom's River area? Anything there? Yeah, there we go. That's a good cam. All right, there is still car traffic. Listen, I'm not going to say the roads are impassable right now, but they're slick. I mean, you can see that right there. They're definitely slick, and you need to take some extra time out if you're there. Manchester, Inland, Pine Barrens. We got snow on the road. Looks like they're taking it slow there. They're actually Manchester. Let me look at the radar. Manchester. Yeah, you're in that heavy band in Manchester. Actually, that webcam's pretty good considering you're in that heavy band. If we go a little further north of Brick, you're more in that. Yeah, there we go. That's what I thought. All right. This is Brick Parkway, exit 89. Really, just, I know there's cars on the road. If you don't, just don't go out unless you're literally working. And if you are, take extra time there. It looks like they are on the Parkway, so it's okay. But the roads are just, they're going to be treacherous as you go deeper into the night because of the heavy snow we're seeing. And you see this in Brick right now. You see that heavy snow right there. So keep that in mind. Let's go to Point. Yep. Snow covered. It's snow covered. It's just a matter of, let's just see if anyone's taking care of the roads. This is Route 35 at Broadway in Point Borough. Ocean County. Michelle's got a question. Is the snow going to get heavier through the night? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely so. And what's going to happen is and we're seeing this, there's bands of heavy snow. So it's, it might snow at a rate of 2.5 inches an hour for 30 minutes, and then it goes to an inch per hour, but yes, absolutely there. All right, let's go. We're going to keep going up. We're going to keep doing our tour. This is Neptune. Can't see much there. South of the Asbury Toll Plaza. Not sure where this is on the Parkway, but okay. How about Freehold? Inland Monmouth. Nothing there. Shannock Road. This is Freehold. Yeah. Roads are tough. I mean, look, when you got heavy snow falling, it's just hard to maintain. the one thing I will say that's good on the from a DPW clearing the cloud or clearing the snow perspective is that it's just you know, it's pretty treacherous. But at least this road saw can kill it. Sorry, I just got a call, and that's why I was doing that. Here we go. Exit 109 on the Parkway. You can't see that far in front of you. We're going to see more of this where your webcams are not going to show all that much because of just what we're seeing here in regards to the winds and etc. here. So let me see. I'm going to go back to our live stream. We're trying to do this again. Like I said, this is my first time trying to switch between everything. So please just bear with me as we do this. Okay, I think that's going to do it. There we go. Cool. All right. So that's our excuse me, what you see here, your final call snow map. Here's our Futurecast. Let it play for you. While we're here, we got a really important comment from Michelle in Delhaven. Delhaven, if you haven't been there, Delaware Bay, Cape May County, western side of Cape May County. I moved my car. I'm in Delhaven and my streets flood bad. Yeah. If your street typically floods, you're going to see more water tonight. If your street doesn't usually flood, but you're in a beach town, it might have water as we go into tonight. Heavy snow is supposed to start around 10 p.m. Let me just loop that for you one more time. Looks like I got a bunch of text messages to get to after this from some of our Surely Safe clients. Surely Safe is when we work with municipalities. We do work with a few municipalities on streamlining weather communication and helping to reduce flood risk. So it's a big night for that here. Severe weather outlook. Okay, no severe weather, but thunder snow. Yes, thunder snow can happen because of how intense this low pressure system is, and it's going to strengthen. If you heard in the last live stream, this is a bomb cyclone. That means the air pressure drops 24 millibars in 24 hours. Here's a look at the flood stage. No real change from the 3 p.m., but definitely a change from the 11 a.m. This is a look at our high tide tights. This is important. So if you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube, you might want to share this with a friend. We're going to go over this because I guarantee you there's not many places that are going to be talking about this. So let's get into this. This is the Sunday night high tide. High tide right now is like midnight, 1 a.m. As we know, it's not going to be this high the whole time. But let's compare this to the October nor'easter. We did this earlier. This is going to be a few tenths of a foot higher, and in some places significantly higher. Bivalve on the Delaware Bay, for example, is one of those places. But now let's look at Erin in August of 2025. That was our highest summertime tide on record for pretty much tuckered in on south. Highest summertime tide on record. We're going to be higher than that in most places. Delaware Bay is not, but Manasquan, Barnegat Light, AC Marina, Cape May, those are the major stations. I don't have Sandy Hook here, but it's the same story there. All going to be higher than that. So if you remember what it was like during that time, this was late August, we're going to see tides higher than that and higher than the October nor'easter, which was, depending on where you were, it was a little bit higher in Monmouth, a little bit lower in Cape May, but generally the same. All right, so when you look at the forecast precipitation, this is going to do wonders for our drought situation that's in at the coastal counties, Cape, Cumberland, half of Atlantic, half of Monmouth County. Ocean County is actually drought-free. And then western New Jersey is in drought. But this is, when you see this much liquid on the roads, or excuse me, liquid in the snow, it's going to be hard to shovel, one. And two, it's going to help, though, on the positive end, get us to pretty much average precipitation for us here. Michelle just with a comment, yeah, the October storm in August, my street was a mess. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be higher than that, Michelle. That's what I'll say. Here are the winds. Like I said, top winds already. Top winds now are about 40 miles an hour at the coast, 30 inland. This is going to go up as we go overnight. That's for sure. So keep that in mind. With the heavy snow, the wet snow, it sticks to the trees, sticks to the power lines. Um, you know, Power outages are going to be an issue, unfortunately, for us here tonight. Here's a look at the flooding. This is Atlantic City. The Weather Channel is in Atlantic City, by the way. Stephanie Abrams is in Atlantic City. You might see her do a live shot somewhere in this part of Atlantic City, right around Mediterranean Avenue, by the right off of Route 30 there. Anywhere where you see blue, that's where we are expecting streets to flood. And then we go to Ship Bottom and OBI. This is west of Long Beach Boulevard. We're expected to see flooding at its peak in those areas in blue. It's pretty much Bayside of Long Beach Boulevard here. I think at our 10 o'clock live, we're going to bring on Chief Robert Burniford of the Harvey Cedars Police Department, do a live stream with us. We've been talking, so we're going to get him just before the tidal flooding comes. So if you have interest in LBI, you'll want to stick around for the 10 o'clock one. This one's funny. I asked AI to make this photo of God resting on the seventh day, but it's snowing. I thought the seventh day we rested. No rest for the weary here. 2005-06 was our winter with the most Sunday snow. If we get 5.9 inch, no, did I do the math right? No. If we get 6.9 inches at ACY Airport by midnight, which is possible, if not probable, we will have the record for the most Sunday snow. And remember, we're not done yet. It's still late. It's still late February. We can have snow for a few more weeks, maybe on a Sunday. I just got a question. Can I show Surf City? You know what? So, Mike, good question. Can I show Surf City? I can get it, but I can't do it right this second. If you want to email me, I can send you a map of that. If you are in Surf City and you want to talk to me about the Surely Safe program in town with your elected officials or your business administrator, we can do that because we are talking about those things for our communities there. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Okay, we did that. Here's our inland. When does the snow melt? People want to know, when did the snow melt? Because Bruce, I don't see a last name, but I'm pretty sure it's Bruce Vail. Yeah, Bruce. Like it's 2010 Rutgers. Yeah, that was winter of 2010 or 2009, 2010, 2010, 2011 was pretty significant for this there. But so it's not going to melt much through Tuesday. I'm just telling you, through Tuesday morning, not much melting. More melting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Wednesday and Thursday, we are going to watch for some snow, but you see the temps, and I'm not too concerned about a lot of accumulation. Probably just mostly rain. We'll get there when we get there. But not much melting until then because temps stay around freezing. But remember this, we have stronger sun too. So the sun is going to help accelerate that melting as well. So shout out to Broadley's again for making this live stream possible. Broadley's 609-525-4080. Broadley's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning in Memora. The name you know, the service you trust. They will be available for emergency plumbing, heating, and air conditioning if you want to give them a call. Otherwise, we are going to tune out from this one. We're going to sign off. That was the word, sign off. We're going to sign off from this one. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We will have more coverage for you all night long. We do promise you that here. We have meteorologist John Rocco that's tag teaming with me as we go into this evening. Stay tuned. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Stay safe. Send me your snowfall totals too if you can do so safely. I look forward to seeing them, and we'll talk to you soon, everybody. Take care.